I hated these taxis. They're cool. It's a cool idea, cool concept.
See if this was in the UK or Scotland, that robot would be hot chewed, man. Like,
Oh, it would have Bobby's not drawn on its face and stuff.
Aye. Like,
Oh, poor
like
robot.
kicking down to his move.
Have you liked these fuck planes?
Here's a tip. Point to the tip of the ding dong. Do you know what I mean?
I can't breathe.
Big popping eyeballs.
Oh man, this film is gross. Arnold Schwarzenegger gets his arse to Mars in this 1990s sci-fi epic. Yeah, Total Recall.
1990s Total Recall.
I loved this movie when I was a kid. I watched this a lot. I think this is a video shop number for me. Me and my dad used to watch it all the time.
This is just amazing for Verhoeven. Total entertainment.
Yeah, 100%.
It was amazing then. No big secret. It's amazing now.
It holds up like fuck. That's the thing I was worried about because I haven't seen this movie since, I don't know, easily 15 years since I watched this movie. Yeah.
Is that right?
So I was a bit apprehensive because I did love it so much as a kid. I will say that I watched the re-released 4K version that they just made a couple years back.
It looks outstanding. It really does. That blood is so red.
Oh man, and there's a lot of it. Speaking of red, what are these opening title sequences all about? These title sequences are so long and boring.
Yeah, but the font's quite nice.
No, I hate the font.
Nah.
That's funny you said that. It stands out, I'll give you that. It's very unique.
I wrote this futuristic Mac font. Oh my god. Swing! We have different reactions.
And that's okay. It wouldn't be a very good podcast if we're just like agreeing all the time.
One thing we can agree on.
Yep.
One swing.
Oh, a swing. Her name's Sharon Stone.
Swing!
Oh, here by the way.
This movie.
Yep. The movie opens. Arnie and some girl are in space outfits, some spacesuits, and then immediately big stupid Arnie falls, smashes his helmet open, and his eyes pop out and he goes "Brrr!" and it's a very, very violent death, and then he wakes up and he's dreaming.
The eyeballs.
Man, the effects in this movie are disgusting. They're so cool, but
it's Verhoeven, so it's super realistic.
Yep.
It looks incredible.
it looks so good for 1990.
It's terrifying.
I'll get into it later on because I speak about this a lot, but I would take this all day, every day over special like CGI.
You do get a lot of matte paintings in this, which looks stunning, but
Yep.
there are so many sets.
Again, we'll get to it. We can talk about it now, but I have wrote that. I love the practicality of most of this movie. You feel like you're at places, like somewhere has been built.
Yeah.
And you can tell they're small, intimate sets, but it doesn't matter. Like, it feels like you're in a wee town,
Yeah.
or a village, or a planet, or a space station, or whatever it is you need to be at. Like, even scenes that take place in an airport or a shuttle feels like that's where it takes place. It's got that, like, it's just amazing set design, man. I love it.
This is an adaptation from a Philip K. Dick book. Who Can Remember It For You Wholesale? He wakes up from this nightmare. Sharon Stone asks, was it about Mars?
He says, yeah, then he says, we were on Mars, and she's like, oh, who's we? And gets immediately suspiciously jealous of this dream wife that he's got.
He's got like this dream girl from Mars.
Yeah, but like, man, I kind of get where she's coming from. Like, if I'm Sharon Stone, I'm like, you're dreaming about fucking nobody but me.
No, she shouldn't give a fuck, man.
No, exactly. I'd be like, I'm Sharon, look at me.
What are you going to dream about that's better than Sharon
That's what I'm trying to say.
Stone?
That's the word about what I'm trying to word, man. Like, that is the dream. He's woke up in the dream. He's next to Sharon Stone in 1990. Prime Stone.
Yeah, they mess around in bed. She gets jealous about this dream girl from Mars, and Sharon Stone says she'll give him something to dream about. And
Oh yeah, sweet morning love making.
you know what happens?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they make love probably. It's probably some pretty good stuff.
Oh, it probably is. Next morning he's making some mad boggin milkshake. What is this thing that he's eating?
Oh, did you notice I'm watching this big old futuristic telly, man?
Oh, for this TV.
We learn that there's unrest on Mars and he's still desperate to go. He wants to move to Mars and she's rightfully like, listen, it's pure dry and ugly and boring and red.
And he can't breathe there.
Quaid is like...
And there's a war going on.
It's not an appealing place, like...
And he's not doing a good job of selling it. He's just kind of like, aye, but I want to go there.
I need to go to Mars.
By the way, can I just say, it's ridiculous that his name is Doug.
Oh, I mean, it's Arnie though, Rido. They loved calling him John or Jack or Ryan maybe or something like that. I mean, all
he couldn't
American.
even pronounce Ryan.
Would you give him the name Arnold?
Do you know that's a good point? Because Arnold doesn't sound like that should be his name.
His name should be something like Grog.
Rutger. Grogger. I don't know.
What was the name of the big rock king for Neverending Story? I mean, the crazy thing about Arnold, not a bad actor. It came to him eventually.
Yeah.
Just like Brad Pitt. Or there's loads of examples of that. Keanu Reeves isn't a bad actor. He's bad in things, but
yeah.
He's not a bad actor.
It's not really his acting necessarily. It's just he's struggling with the language. He just doesn't have... His accent is just still so thick at this point. I mean, it's 1990.
And yet, his place in sci-fi is extraordinary. It just works.
Obviously, it gets a baby in Terminator because he sounds robotic. James Cameron uses his accent perfectly because it goes with being a robot.
Big, good-looking guy.
Oh man, this Arnie 1990,
stunning.
Prime Arnie, talking about Prime Stone.
Oh, Ronnie Cox. Oh, Rido, I adore Ronnie Cox. Ronnie Cox is the governor of Mars. This is Cohagen.
Oh, yeah, Cohagen, sorry, yeah, he's on the TV, sorry, I've skipped ahead. Yeah, he's great in this. Not in it a lot, though.
Used well, always a good reveal, Ronnie Cox. He is pissed at these mutants, absolutely causing it.
Yes, this is the first of several mentions of Quato, who's the rebel leader.
Quaid leaves for work and Laurie is rightfully like, listen, give this new town a chance. But he's clearly Mars daft.
Oh, he loves Mars.
You ever seen somebody like this about Mars?
Never. No, I can safely say I've never met anybody that's Mars daft.
He walks through the station. This was shot in Mexico.
I love this. I've wrote here, man, I love these effects. I love the ads on the train.
This is a real train station.
Oh, is it? It's an actual...
How stunning is this?
It's so cool. Love this train station, love this set, and the fact that it's a real place really adds to it. Because now it would just be green screen, man. Now it would just be like...
This big X-ray you mentioned, still amazing. How cool is this?
Looking, so simple.
Boards the train, we get the advert for Total Recall. The ever creepy Roy Brocksmith is Dr. Edgemar.
Really great.
You get implants with the memory of the trip.
That doesn't seem appealing to me. Like, so what if somebody told you can't go on holiday to Paris or wherever it is you would like to go on holiday to, but we can put memories in your head so you can remember what it was like to have been to Paris?
We get Joey's dad.
Of course, Joey's dad. That's what I've wrote.
It's Joey's dad, Robert Costanzo, and he's Arnie's colleague. This is Harry.
Talk about feeling inadequate, man. Imagine standing beside Arnold Schwarzenegger holding this big power drill, man, as it's going up and down, man.
Avro, I would ask him to do everything for me.
Are you going to get a spit for his Arnie?
I would happily.
It's
like,
the antithesis. It's like the absolute perfect guy for this job and the absolute worst guy for the job standing right next to each other.
Me and you on site with him, right?
Aye.
Just having him, and we will compliment me, you, him, Big Terry Crews.
Aye.
Me and you just complimenting the big muscular
Big, beefy
beauties all day.
beauties.
Oh, you look good today, boys.
Oh,
boys,
yeah.
could you lift that for us? Oh, Joey's dad, man, he says, Arnie asks, have you heard of this recall? And he does that. Joey's dad does this impression of the advert. Did you hear this impression of the advert?
No. Do you know what the thing is? I thought that was like him making a joke because the word recall. He's forgot. He's went recall.
Aye. How great is that?
That's a good. Aye, that's good. Aye, that's some good shit. So Joey's dad then tells him it's a lot of shite. He knows somebody that had to get a lobotomy after it, and tells him not to go, and gives him what I think is some pretty solid advice. Then immediately in the next scene we see Arnie at recall, so he's just totally ignored Joey's dad.
He goes there for a nosy.
Well, it's more than a nosy because he goes over for a nosy and immediately signs up to it. By the way, this receptionist, the way that she changes her nail colours is so cool.
This is amazing.
This is what I'm talking about, but the wee details, man, this is so cool.
This is the gorgeous Alexia Robinson, I think, from Candyman 3. It's a stylus picking from a palette and then touches from the stylus to the nail and it changes instantly.
Yep.
How cool is that?
It's so cool. It's amazing. Such simple, just a simple wee gag, but like those wee things really matter and make, again, it's world building.
Verhoeven does that great.
Yep, it's absolutely brilliant.
Quaid has a meeting with Bob.
Yeah, I've wrote here in this meeting, Arnie really struggles with this script.
He is desperate to go to Mars, and when he mentions it, Bob is like, oh, come on.
Aye. He said, do you want to go to Jupiter or something as well? And he's like, no, it has to be Mars.
He tries to shill him on a Saturn cruise, but Quaid is like, Saturn is for losers.
I want to go to Mars like a big boy.
899 credits for 2 weeks of memories, all first class, private cabin, all of the sights. Quaid asks about someone they lobotomised. Joey's dad told him about it. Bob insists it's all cool now, don't worry about it.
Why doesn't he just deny it? He doesn't say no, that never happened. He just goes, it's fine now, we worked at the kinks. I'd be like, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
We hear about the ego trip.
So the ego trip package is what is offered to Arnie, which is basically you can choose a bunch of different, I guess, storylines or adventures to go on.
It's identities.
Aye, so it's either you can be...
He's offered a playboy, a sports hero, a secret agent, 300 credits for the role. And then Big Quaid with a big smiler going into the future MRI machine. This all looks fantastic.
We don't know at this point how close him and Sharon Stone is, but we know that it's close enough that that's his wife, or at least he thinks that's his wife. And he's just went ahead and made this big, massive purchase to essentially take a holiday behind her back.
Joey Pantoliano, in The Matrix, talks about the steak and what do you want? Do you want real life grill or do you want imaginary steak? Sharon Stone's a steak. I would consider just thinking, do you know what?
Even if I found my real identity, see if I had Total Recall and it came back to me, I'd be like, if I played dumb, I get to bang Sharon Stone every night.
It's fine.
I'm alright with that.
Big Joey's dad, he's alright.
He seems quite sound. He'd go for a pint with you. Aye, that's not the
fine.
worst life.
It's fine. What do you think of these doctors, Rido?
Oh, these two fucking nerds. Couple of specky doctors, man. Come in and like this one female doctor is like way too familiar with him, man.
They strolled right after the set of RoboCop though, this lot, right after the cages of Murphy getting assembled.
Aye, 100%, aye. He gets injected with some shit. I don't know what it is. He doesn't ask either. I guess it's a sedative. And then they ask him to pick out his perfect woman, and he picks her out on a computer. But he only gets like 3 choices. It's like a character builder in like a computer game. It's like blonde hair, brunette, or redhead.
I imagine they're still working with like 2 megabit of memory.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's just like skinny, athletic, or chubby or whatever the three options are. And it's just like, that's the only three body types that exist.
And he's conking out, he's not.
I'd asked him to do this while he's already been injected with a sedative, so he's falling asleep as he's describing this woman. That would seem something like an important decision that you'd want to be sharp to make now.
An important decision. Aye, okay.
Important to you? No. You wake up beside fucking God knows what.
My memory of Mars. How gutted would that be? Arnie takes a whitey.
He does. He's freaking out. It's Avro. He's trying to bust out this chair like a big fucking Frankenstein. They tranquilise the fuck out of him.
Avro, he's hulking out. Frankenstein's good.
They came with 18 shots of this fucking elephant tranquilizer.
Righto, Avro, they've rattled 70 into them.
She just takes this gun and just starts going with these shanks, man. This cunt's not waiting up for a year. What they used to think to fucking Keith Mint.
Be lucky if he remembers Planet Earth. This sound design when he is snapping necks.
It's so he violently fucking murders these people. But can I just sort of, before we get there, can I laugh at this bit where Bob the salesman comes in and calls her a dumb bitch?
It is so aggressive.
It is so weird. He's like, he must have just had a bad reaction to the thing. And he's like, you dumb bitch, it doesn't work like that. And I'm like, whoa, Bob, fucking kill your jets there with the sexism.
This is the misogyny he's often...
Yeah, aye, because it's basically just like, this whole recall thing is just like, go and have sex with someone that's not your wife and feel guilt-free about it because it's just a memory, it's not really happening. Do you mean that's what it's basically that, but they try and dress it up nicely. He calls her a dumb bitch, but then she's like, we've not even implanted the memory yet.
Yeah, he says his freak out is just the secret agent portion of the identity acting out. She says they haven't implanted it yet. That's a good thud on the floor.
Yeah, that's a good moment, aye. And he freaks out, he looks at him, he's like, oh fuck. And then he calls a bunch of people and he's just like...
They do a Bad Boys too. They dump him...
they get him out of that nightclub before he ODs in there.
Says, dump him in a cab around the corner, destroy his file, refund his money. If anyone comes asking, we've never even heard of Douglas Quaid.
That's a cool line.
It's a good line.
That's a good...
We get Johnny Cab.
When I was a kid, these taxis absolutely fucking terrified me. I watched this movie last night, still terrified. I hate these things.
Don't like the animation.
These puppets, these animatronic taxi drivers are terrifying. They're so weird. It's like a weird uncanny valley, like, because they're quite human-like.
They look like the Polar Express kids, but
that's exactly it.
In
that
real life.
Weird. See the Polar Express kids that look
soulless.
Not quite right. Like, they look very realistic, kinda, but behind the eyes, you're like,
something's
there's a bunch of dead children. It's like ghost train I'm on.
Oh.
Like, it's I hated these taxis. They're cool. It's a cool idea, cool concept.
See if this was in the UK or Scotland, that robot would be half chewed, man. Like,
oh, it would have Bobby's not drawn on its face and stuff.
like kicking down to his move.
Now you like these fuck things.
Here's a tip. Pointing to the tip of the ding dong, do you know what I mean? The tip of the shaft.
That's you like that.
I would.
I'm sitting in the back giggling. I'll do it again. Girl.
Film it.
I film it. Oh, it's like a crackle. Stick it on a gram.
Your brain's in the middle going, Dad, can we go to school?
What, no? It's more Bobbies to be drawn.
You give me any colour or pencil case.
I have some purple, you need that.
Make it veiny. Right, oh man, she was great when she left me to use, alright?
What, no, things aren't good at him. Why go to that recall?
I
So I can go back to they can implant me.
want to go to Mars.
That's what Mars
You
again.
just start dancing. Right, do you can't afford it, mate?
Still in the back of the taxi.
Driver
The
to
taxi
Mars.
stopped. We've reached our destination. I'm just sitting in the back seat.
Dancing.
That's refusing to get. He gets out the taxi, immediately bumps right into Joey's dad. Joey's like, did you go to Recall, man? Stay at you. Hey, let's go for a beer. You can tell me all about it, basically. And immediately fucking turns on him. Turns out Joey's dad's an agent. This is the first of many people that he trusted turning into agents. Pretty much everybody in the movie does this.
They quickly kidnap this hulk of a man, and he's like casually kind of taking him away from the crowd into a shady corner, and he goes, "Let's go for that drink," and he's waving his gun up.
My God, it's not even subtle. He's got that big New York accent. Let's go for that drink.
Oh, I envision that man very sad.
They wasn't
When-
in Super Mario.
Bob Hoskins was announced.
Aye.
And then sad 3 weeks later when John Leguizamo was announced. So Joey's dad, Arnie, we get this karate.
Fucking Jason Bourne's these motherfuckers. It's the scene for the Bourne Identity. It's the exact same. Well, like, he sort of accidentally kills them almost. Like, he looks at his hands afterwards as if, what have I just done?
He's amazed at the weapon he is.
Yeah, aye.
If Arnie walked into you too fast, you'd be dead.
We did. Or you'd definitely have a broken shoulder. You'd be walking through that x-ray machine and all your bones would just be falling off you.
He's like that truck in Wicker Man. He
Or just goes through that waiting.
He smashes these future goons with some karate, and this sound design is furious. Some
so
of these are, do you hear these?
Crunching bones when he punches them and stuff.
It's like 8-bit crunches.
That's so good. It's tasty.
He crunches Joey's dad.
Oh, he gets well killed, man. He goes home and Sharon Stone's playing virtual tennis with, this is apparently a professional tennis player,
Yeah.
which would have been a good reference back then, but it's kind of aged a bit now.
I wrote, imagine he came home and she was pure rattling a hologram, man. Like Tupac. Mind that hologram?
Oh, I do remember that.
Quaid shows up, he's paranoid and sweaty. She kind of patronises him and talks him down. He talks about Mars and she's kind of like, ugh.
Oh, she's like, fucking this again.
In this lie, Laurie calls Richter the one and only Michael Ironside.
Ironside's amazing in this.
How good is he in this?
Even though he's not technically the villain, he's definitely the one that gets most screen time. He's like the second villain or the villain right-hand man.
He's your Kurtwood Smith again from RoboCop.
Yeah, definitely.
This first appearance is great. They do this pivot as he comes from the side on this video screen from the darkness. It's really cool.
Really good shot, and then you see the silhouette of an assassin trying to shoot him in the dark. We don't know who it is. Well, we do. It's pretty obvious, but like, I remember as a kid being like shocked by this twist.
Arnie is a big guy, but anybody that big
Is an easy target.
they're no that limber.
Aye, he would move like...
He's like a big sack of totties.
Aye, but he turns into a gymnast here and starts like rolling about, like avoiding all these gunshots, and he tackles it to the ground. Start fighting. This is when the light goes on and he finds out that it's Laurie.
This is a good fight.
It's a good fight, good reaction sequence here, totally. And then basically once the lights go on, they sort of, I guess they kind of stop fighting, where he starts asking questions, like, what's going on kind of thing, and she basically tells him everything. That his whole life has been fake. It's an implant. She's not his real wife. Tells him that she's an agent. She's been sent to look after babysit him, essentially.
She was written in as a storyline.
Yeah, in his head.
So sorry, Quaid, your whole life is just a dream.
She immediately tries to like seduce him.
Too soon.
Far too soon. I mean, it's far too obvious what she's trying to do.
She says you were the best assignment I ever had, and she does what Sharon Stone does best.
Turns it on.
The seductive thing
Yeah.
is, I mean, that casino performance, man.
Yep. The way she just like and a flash goes right into it as well. And she like does this cool thing where she like takes her straps down and like ties her arms around her own straps on her top. Do you know what I'm talking about?
It's a flash dance moment.
Yeah.
It is flawless the way she does it.
So casual.
Richter's crew show up as Doug ducks out. Great scene and great score. Ironside just brings this total gravity to it all. They track Quaid.
This tracker, I remember this vividly for being a kid. The tracker, this is how they know where he is. I love this.
It's
I love how simple it is, and how it's just like he's being tracked. We have this big thing that shows you where he is. Now we've got a chase, we've got a pursuit in our hands now. The bad guys are looking for him. He's escaped, he's on the run, and we're sort of set up now for the rest of the, well, not the rest of the movie, but like the next act, basically.
It's aesthetically stunning as well. This big blocky machine.
Yep.
It's like it's kind of like a mix between the
It's like Alien, see the
Alien or the PKE meter from Ghostbusters, like big
totally.
blocky. Alien's exactly it, right?
big blocky 80s looking thing, but it's got the big glowing red dot, and it's making the nice satisfying beep 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 noise sound effects, and it's not overly complicated with all this shit on the screen. It's just like, here's the big red dot, here's where he is, let's track him, and they're just pursuing him for the rest of the movie. It's great.
Yeah, they track Quaid. Richter and Laurie smack lips.
Oh, do they ever, man? How much did she get paid for this one?
Oh man, I wrote he's punching as well, Ryan.
Fucking hell, he is.
I wrote he's punching as well, Ryan.
My god, he is. Ironside, this is the best day of Ironside's career here, this scene. I could have done without this though. Like, it doesn't really add anything to the plot that Laurie and Ironside are together.
It gives him a personal investment in the revenge. I kind of like it.
I guess it does, but it never really. By the end of the movie, that doesn't really go anywhere. It doesn't really get revenge, so in the end, it doesn't really matter, I guess.
Richter basically says they're going to take him out.
Yeah, they're basically, as far as they know, they're going hunting him down to kill him because he's had recall, or they don't know what he remembers now, but they think that he remembers everything at this point, so he needs to be killed.
Quaid runs back through security in an amazing scene. We get the alerts in the X-ray machine because he has weapons. How cool is this?
Yeah, and you see the big. I mean, it looks a bit stupid, but again, it adds to the charm. These big blocky skeletons walking through the X-ray machine. The gun showing up in, is it purple or orange or some other colour? And you see him kind of looking for an escape route. There's baddies either side, so he jumps through the X-ray machine. There's shattered glass everywhere. It's so cool looking.
This is a great chase. Richter and the crew catch up, chase his tail. This Pulverhoven violence, this shootout in this station, it's the Robocop Murphy shooting in public.
Yes, and it's some poor extra that gets it. Some wee guy gets used as a human shield and he gets blown to bits.
We talk about the Murphy scene a lot, but this is pretty
just
bad.
as bad. And like, the Murphy scene only happened to one guy who was a cop the bad guys are shooting down. This just happens to some random bystander in the subway and he gets, I don't know, about 18 to 20 shots blown into him easily.
It's brutal.
Aye, it's so brutal. And Arnie's just holding them the full time, like using them as a shield.
It adds weight to the full thing though, doesn't
Totally.
it?
Oh yeah, totally, and it's cool. But I just feel bad for the guy because it's not even like a bad guy it happens to, it's just some randomer.
He was just going to work.
He was going home to see his kids.
Quaid makes it to a train whilst Richter goes crazy shooting it. He makes it, but everybody in that train would be livid. I just wouldn't say anything because he's massive.
Exactly, yeah, you wouldn't say it and you just like quietly be raging. You just go on your phone and tweet about it.
Richter says he wants that fucker dead. In that Ironside voice, that voice.
Ironside's good here, but see his wee pal, his wee sleazy pal that's got the tracker.
Helm.
He says to him, I wouldn't want a guy like Quaid porking my lady either.
He says he
porking my lady.
Oh, he wants that fucker dead. He understands because he wouldn't want a guy like Quaid porking his old lady. You saying she likes it?
And he just gives him a laugh as if, yeah.
Action movies aren't coloured like that now.
No, they don't. I wrote this later on, but I'll say it now. They don't make movies like this anymore.
They're missing stuff like this.
Absolutely.
That challenges
adds to it.
things like this. We get this video call. It's from Mr. Cohagen, Ronnie Cox. He says if he wanted Quaid dead, he wouldn't have dumped him on Earth. Richter says he knows too much. He could soon have total recall. Cohagen wants Quaid alive for reimplantation. Helm gets eyes on Quaid. They pull out, and Richter says we should have killed that fucker on Mars.
And I agree. Why didn't they kill him on Mars? It just seems very elaborate that they would implant him with new memories and have Sharon Stone babysit him.
It's a big elaborate scheme. Quaid runs through the city as they drive in the night. This night photography is beautiful.
It is beautiful. Glad you said that. Although there is a few things that I noticed here. The advertising's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Pepsi signs, a lot of Subway.
The tracker indicates that Quaid is slowing down in a particular location.
He checks into the Ritz Hotel. His phone goes. It's one of those, again, I like the weird video phone that they've got in this movie.
It looks fantastic.
It reminds me of the video intercom system in Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
A bit like better.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's better.
Verhoeven as well.
Talk about Michael Ironside. So some guy phones him and tells him that he's bugged and that they're tracking his every movement and tells him to put a towel in his head. This is one of my very vivid memories of the movie, is him walking about with this towel in his head.
Wet a towel and wrap it around your head. This will buy you some time. This is cool.
And this, for me, as a kid, this is what he wore the entire movie. He only wears it for about 5 minutes of screen time, but this is the image I have when I think of Total Recall. It's him running about with a towel and he's the whole movie. It's
because another scene he's wearing that is probably burnt into your mind.
Yeah, yeah. So he has to go down and get this briefcase. This guy leaves it pretty clumsily right beside a public phone box. Like, you think you'd stash it away somewhere. Quaid goes to get it, and this wee old lady tries to get it first, and it has an argument with her. It's really funny. He has to basically wrestle this suitcase away from this old lady, and she goes, "Fuck you, asshole!" And he just turns around and does a wee curtsy. It's so cute.
She is so great.
She's great. Because it's a proper old lady they've cast, and she's so good at just being a pure grouchy old grandma.
Rick and Morty kinda make fun of this kind of sci-fi, but Total Recall kinda gave you a taste of what adult sci-fi could look like.
Totally, yeah.
Verhoeven did sort of show you that without that kind of more sense of humour, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's totally sort of grimy.
Sleazy or sci-fi.
Because a lot of sci-fi, it's like everything in the future is slick and everything's clean and perfect, and all these cars will be white and silver and gold.
Exactly. Verhoeven's is dirtier and
yeah, totally, and it totally works. I mean, I guess Blade Runner had this as well.
Son of a bitch got to be around here somewhere, says Helm. I don't have an impression for him. May as well be called Goggles. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, totally. This is the guy in Die Hard that dies first.
Ironside, they say, where is he? And Ironside said, that guy there, pointing at Arnie in a crowd.
He bumps into them. But in fairness, he's a big, as we've already mentioned, he's a big, stupid daft. He's like 7 foot tall.
And he's wrapped a towel around his ear.
He's about 4 foot wide and he's got a towel wrapped around his head. He stands out. So they start chasing him. He steals one of these horror taxis.
Quaid jumps into a Johnny cab. They have a misunderstanding. Big Arnie rips it out and takes over. They shoot at the car and he hauls ass, and Johnny says, "Fasten your seatbelt." Arnie ditches this half-chewed cyborg and Johnny says, "The fare is 18 credits.
And he tells the taxi, "Oh, so me," or something like that.
So
and he
me.
starts walking away, and this Johnny Cab just tries to fucking run him over and kamikazes right into a wall.
Quaid has this briefcase and he goes through it.
It's full of Monopoly money.
How cool is this?
It's so cool looking. I love all this shit, man. This is the Jason Bourne similarity here. Remember in the Bourne Identity where he gets the...
But in the future...
this is much cooler than Bourne Identity.
This is so cool. I like Bourne.
Bourne Identity is one of my favourite movies ever. That's why it's high praise.
We'll do the trilogy.
I love all 3 of those movies so much.
So
the 4th one can get to fuck, but the first 3 are perfect.
In this kit is some money.
Yep.
IDs.
Some fake IDs, again, very Bourne Identity here.
A huge device. It's like long. It looks kind of... He's as puzzled as you and I. And this really cool mirror gadget.
Yeah, this is a basically it's essentially a hologram machine, but it's not really a hologram because it doesn't like mirror you exactly. It's the science on this hologram machine is a bit iffy. It's kind of used
It's
contextually.
it's a short distance projector, mirror projector.
Aye, yeah, pretty much, but it kind of has a personality of its own.
This briefcase is a video message and it looks great.
Mm-hmm.
This is apparently Doug.
Yeah, he's left a message to himself explaining that if shit ever went down, then he'll be watching this and advises him to remove the chip. He's to jam it up his nose and it's going to pull the chip out from his brain. Is that what it is? Or behind his eye? I don't know exactly where it is.
It's just,
It's in his head somewhere.
remember bug removal from Matrix? He's just to remove this bug from this tracker from himself. And
So he does.
He has to rip this bouncy ball out his skull. It is brutal.
It is rotten looking, and again, the special effects here. I don't know if this looked so good in the original or if this is the 4K remaster. They've redone this. Still looks so good, these effects.
Richter and team arrive. Quaid needs to take this bug out his nose. Like you said, he rips this thing out and you feel it.
Oh, you see it sort of bump out the nostril.
It feels dry, doesn't it?
It does. Oh, it feels so sore. It's so cool looking though. I still think it looks great.
When you hear the crunch, you're there.
I wouldn't do it. I would just simply keep it in my head.
You just accept it.
I would just have the rest of my life with a wet trailer in my head.
You would just...
I'll look at that fucking Saturday night video.
The wig, you'd look like Wigfield.
I would look like Wigfield. I'd just be like Wigfield for the rest of my days.
You would beg Sharon Stone would take you back and just live like that. They get a lock on Quaid and pursue.
I really like this because as he's watching the video explaining to himself everything that's went down, he's eating a chocolate bar. But he doesn't finish the chocolate bar and he sort of gives some to like a rat to be nice. And then that's smartly what he does with the tracker. He puts it inside the chocolate bar and gives it to some rats. He sees the bad guys coming, he runs away. He smartly destroys the video device before he leaves.
Not before his message says,
"Get your ass to Mars." The bad guys show up and they just start shooting with this tracker saying that he is. Obviously at this point the rat ingested the chocolate.
Just pushing it about.
Aye, so they're shooting all these rats basically.
We see Mars, which is red.
The arrival depot place.
Station?
Aye, we're at Mars Station.
Mars Station.
I've got this is a iconic scene coming up. Him in this lady outfit. You take it for you.
This is Priscilla Allen. This is the 2 weeks lady. Giant hair, red hair, big scarf, yellow, big bold, chunky suit. And, this is a 2 weeks. 2 weeks in the malfunction of this fantastic suit which holds up in every way.
It looks great, man. I can't believe how good this suit looks.
We watched this in Ultra
Such
HD.
a goofy scene.
Oh, it's total sci-fi, but everything in this is...
Oh no, I love it. I'm just saying it's goofy, but I like the goofiness, aye.
The 2 week freak out scene, he says, how long do you plan to stay on Mars? 2 weeks. We see some graffiti, it says Quato lives. Richter and the team are sick of it. They say the rebels took over a refinery last night. The rebels are gaining power. We go back to Priscilla, 2 weeks.
That's the only thing that's a bit I don't like about this scene is the fact that like it almost immediately malfunctions and goes tits up. Like you would think that like if Quaid had the wherewithal to plan all this and to get himself fake IDs and money and a suit and all that, they would like make sure that his stuff worked. Do you know what I mean? But this guy's immediately backfires.
It adds such a cool thing. It's so tense though, isn't it?
Oh no, the tension is cool because you see her sweating at first, and then she repeat like she starts saying 2 weeks. She starts having that freak out, and you've got the idea. Obviously, we've seen this movie a million times, so we know what's going on. But I remember the first time seeing this and being like, "What the fuck's happening?"
The way it opens,
it still looks incredible,
phenomenal. It opens up, and he throws this head. This is my problem. How's there an explosion function on that?
And why is there one? Like, that looks like it's built specifically in case it malfunctions and goes wrong.
Do you know
why
what?
else would that need to explode?
That is kind of cool. Yeah.
But in fact, not only does it explode, but it quips beforehand. Remember, like, it throws the head, and what did she say?
Get ready for a surprise.
And then it blows up, which is kind of cool.
Iconic line from a great actor. That's a cool line.
Yeah, she's great. This whole scene's great.
They shoot a window right.
I have a problem.
What's your problem? You're right.
They shoot a window, and because they're on Mars, of course, there's no pressure. Everybody starts getting sucked out the window. How have they not got double glazing? I mean, you're at a space station. This is like the security checkpoint where everybody's trying to get through their passports and that. Somebody's got to be packing a gun. Somebody's got to be thinking, what if a bullet goes through one of these windows?
They don't even think about it.
But they should. This is not a well-planned space station. If I worked in this, it'd be a fucking much tighter operation. I'm telling you that right now.
Security jam the doors and it allows Quaid time to get away. Cohagen has raised the price of air.
It's kind of stupid, but at least now we know why Cohagen's the baddie. He's literally like taxing the air.
Yeah.
He has a monopoly on all the fresh air on Mars, which is a proper good villain thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, and it gives you a reason to hate him, and it gives him motivation to have all the power on Mars.
We get the great Mickey Jones. He was great in Vacation. Quaid asks about the mining. He thought it was just a rumour. He says they're mining for turbinium. Turbinium.
I didn't write that down.
Turbinium.
I'll believe you.
Cox and Ironside have a meeting, and it's just two great actors having at it.
Yeah, and it's basically also explaining to you what's happening. This is like a wee reset for the audience, so like, we're the bad guys and this is why.
Quaid gets to Mars and it's not great.
Yep, he checks into this hotel. It's a Hilton. Again, more advertising. He's left himself a flyer in this safe. The flyer is for
The Last Resort.
The Last Resort. It looks like a sex club or a strip club or something like that. It says on the back, ask for Melina.
For a good time, ask for Melina.
Yeah, that's right. And then he takes a pen and he writes the word Melina, and it's the same handwriting, so he realises that he's wrote it to himself. So he gets in a cab, and we're introduced to Benny, the cab driver.
Mel Johnson Jr.
As they get in the cab, they witness this big rebel shootout. There's guns blazing and stuff just right in the middle of the street. And Benny's just like, right, let's get in the car. Like, he doesn't seem fazed by it at all.
He says, welcome to Mars.
Aye, he says, welcome to Mars. And then he drives them to the town, basically the towns from Mario, the Super Mario movie.
Venusville.
Aye. Seriously though, I adore this set. I love the Mars here. I love this little community they've got.
You nailed it. It is totally Mario 93.
And all the practical effects and the makeup and stuff is so much better than a bunch of CGI globs walking about. Do you know what I mean? Like,
he gets to the Last Resort and tips Benny pretty well.
He's just getting a big handful of this Monopoly money. I don't know how much that is, but Benny seems happy with it, so it must be a lot.
Says he's looking for Melina. The barman instead offers.
He says when he's not really your type or something like that, or she's busy, you might be more interested in
Mary.
They've tried to set him up with Tiffany and Indigo, but there's something about Mary that they don't know.
3, that's a magic number. Yes, it is. It's the magic number.
Mary turns round. Mary has got 3 tits. Is this the most famous thing about this movie?
You don't remember her name's Mary. You didn't.
No.
Nobody in the world
but
remembers
what I mean is,
this
you say
character
Total
name.
Recall, I say
Free boobies.
You tell anybody, you show somebody in the street
The Total Recall poster.
Aye, and you're like, would you remember that about this movie? They're like, oh, that's that one.
It's free boobies.
This is the most iconic scene in the entire movie, for better or worse. What's your thoughts on this scene?
Looks amazing still.
Looks incredible.
Yeah.
I can't tell which one's the fake one. And I'm looking, trust me. You know this get paused in HD in
Oh, I
4K.
know you the nipple guy.
Oh, aye.
Oh.
Oh, this is firmly studied.
Oh. Free him.
Free them, I'm like, what? That's one more than usual. What? What did I do? I've only got 2 horns. One move.
And you put
That's
on,
perfect.
like, stuck in the middle with you in the background and just sit and dance to it in your seat.
Fucking stuck in the middle.
And
Wish
you-
I was stuck in the middle.
And you put on the teletext to see when Total Recall's playing again on Sky Movies.
I'll watch it again. It's what you did with 3 bibs. You're presented in a situation. Girl
I
whips
don't
up.
know what to do with 2 of them.
Well, you've got 3 of them. What do you do? Go. A gun to your head.
Why is there a gun in my head and
It's
feet?
my gun. It's against your head.
Why have I found myself
Pleasure
in
those
this
movies.
situation?
Entertain me.
Oh my god, you're a sick
Do
man.
some bib stuff.
I think who is a spaceman?
But I'm up put on a show.
They come back for the remake.
I know they do, aye. Again, you need to, like... we spoke about how iconic it is. Like, you can't remake Total Recall and not put the 3 boobies in it. They would have been outrage.
Melina wanders over, says he's bulging, and grabs his dong.
Man, she is writing about this thing, man. She also said this. I've wrote a couple of quotes here because this is kind of the weirdest scene in the movie. She grabs his dog and says, "What have you been feeding this thing?"
He replies, blondes. That's a great line.
The big alien guy gets up here and starts giving Arnie shit.
Tony.
That's so threatening, man.
Tony? Dean Norris, you said it?
Big Dean Norris, aye, Big Dean Norris. So Arnie and Moina go upstairs.
Have we mentioned that he's known as Hauser?
No, I don't think we've mentioned that. That kind of comes up more here, so...
We should start calling him Arnie, I think, because this could get...
Yeah, because it gets confusing. Okay, so we'll quickly describe it. Basically, obviously his name's not Doug. He's got a fake identity. They've called him Doug Quaid, which is the name they've given him to be with Sharon Stone, having their wee perfect life together. Obviously, none of that's true. He's been brainwashed. Hauser's his quote-unquote real name, but we'll just call him Arnie because he starts losing his own identity. That's kind of the point of the movie. He's trying to regain who he actually is.
Arnie and Melina smooch. She says, "You never loved me, Hauser. You just used me to get inside."
Annoyingly though, Moina just does not believe a word that he's saying. I don't know why. He seems pretty genuine here. He's saying that he's confused. He tells her that, like, they've brainwashed me. I don't know who I am. I don't know who you are. You need to help me. And she pulls a gun on him. She's like, "Get out."
She sends him packing, and I think that's ironic, because she's the one holding the gun.
Oh, nice. I enjoyed that. Good job. You deserve that.
Benny, baby.
Benny, he's checking out he's with me, he's downstairs with me, checking out this chick with the 3 bibs. He says he wishes he had 3 hands. That's a kind of funny line.
Oh.
But he needs 3 hands. 2 hands is fine. 2 hands and a face.
And it's kind of foreshadowing.
Aye, because he does have 3 hands. That's a nice line. We find out later that Benny's a mutant. That his hands are fake anyway.
They hightail it out of there, and Quaid just kind of chillaxes in his Mars hotel room for a bit.
Aye, until this fucking nerd comes to the door. He's in his hotel room, the door goes, he's immediately suspicious. He says, "Who's this?" He says, "My name's Doctor." And he's just like, "Listen, you might not believe me, Mr. Quaid, but this has all been a problem with the implant. You're still at the recall centre.
He tries to convince him that this is everything that he paid for.
Yeah, he's like, you paid for the package of being a secret agent on Mars, well, this is it. But it's went wrong, something's not went right in your brain, it's malfunctioned, so you're now taking the secret agent part too seriously."
Quaid puts a gun to his throat.
Aye, and he's basically like, "I don't believe you." And he says, "Well, if you don't believe me, maybe you'll believe the next person." The door goes again. This time it's Laurie again. Sharon Stone's back. Thank God. She's trying to convince him too. She's like, "Look, you're my husband. You've had a mental breakdown. You've went to recall. You're still there. I need you to come back home to me. I need you to listen to what the man says. We can try and get you out of this. Blah blah blah." This big nerd takes a pill out his pocket and he's just like, "Look, take this pill. If you if you eat this, then you'll come back into consciousness and we can get you a recall and back to normal. Arnie does not believe this guy one bit, but he kind of plays along, puts the pill in his mouth, doesn't swallow it, sees that the nerd doctor starts to sweat, and then immediately just fucking blows this motherfucker up with a gun.
Right in the head, it's
Aye.
crazy.
Shoots him, spits the pill out on him, which is quite disrespectful, but it's a cool scene.
Richter and his goons bust through the room and get him. Laurie gets his nards and kicks him.
Aye, kicks him right in the dick.
She says she hates it here on Mars, and to be fair, it looks like it sucks.
Aye, no winner. I'm totally on her side here. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Get the elevator, Melina shoots
Fucking
everyone.
waste these fools. Aye, she has a fight with Laurie.
More karate.
More karate. This is why she's in this movie. It's just so we can have a girl fight here.
It's good though.
No, it's a good fight. It's like a kung fu fight between Sharon Stone and Mel. There's a Pepsi vending machine conveniently placed behind them. Do you notice this?
No.
They're having a shootout. There's a nice, I'm feeling like a nice, refreshing can of Pepsi. It's not as bad as Brad Pitt in that zombie movie, but never is.
Laurie says, "You wouldn't hurt me, would you, sweetheart?"
And he shoots on the head and goes, "Consider this a divorce."
They track Arnie. Again, a lot of tracking Arnie. This film's a lot of tracking Arnie.
And bear in mind that he's already removed the tracker at this point, but for some reason, apparently, it doesn't matter. He's just that easy to follow because he's this big, massive gorilla looking guy. Like, only one person in the world looks like him, so he must be really easy to follow.
Melina tells Arnie that Quato wants to see him.
They need to escape. They sort of jump down this catwalk. The bad guys can't really shoot at them because they're on Mars, so if they shoot the glass again, they'll all get sucked out, so the bad guys kind of have to let them go, kind of thing.
This is after Richter finds Stone dead and he's heartbroken.
That's right, aye. So in the corridor, Richter shows up and he sees Stone, she's got a bullet hole in her head. And yeah, again, good acting here, he's absolutely heartbroken, and then immediately sort of, you see his face, it's good acting here, it turns to like rage, he's got revenge on his mind.
And you said this, Arnie and Melina do this big jump and do some parkour over to this big bit.
And again, you said it earlier, he can't jump that. He couldn't make this jump.
Oh, he's too big.
No way that muscle mass, he'll just go down like a fucking tank.
Oh.
They bump into Benny again, he's just like... Again, he says one of his catchphrases here, which he says a couple of times through the movie, "I've got 5 kids to feed." Ironside has a comically large gun in this scene. Did you notice this?
I've wrote, is it the BFG from Doom?
Yeah.
The big fucking gun?
Yep. I don't know if that's exactly what it is, but he has this wee machine gun that's not working. Aye, he throws it away and just picks at this big fucking massive stupid gun out of nowhere and starts just trying to shoot fools with this and stuff.
This'll blow up planets.
Aye, it's a cool looking gun. They run to a safe room.
Tony helps them, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, Tony from Dean Norris, from The Last Resort. They've got a sort of wee safe room. 3 titties get shot.
This scene's brutal with the mutants. I always thought so as a kid as well. She gets shot in the back.
Yeah, aye.
They then go to shoot Thumbelina, played by Debbie Lee Carrington.
And she kicks her arse, man. Thumbelina just starts fucking tearing these fools apart.
Is it a knife she pulls at one point?
Yeah,
as
she
well?
pulls a knife at some point. She stabs one of these guys in the back, takes him down, then she picks up a big gun, she stands on a table and she starts just shooting these guys.
It's a great image.
And their eye is so cool. They escape to go find Quato. They run through these tunnels. It's kind of like catacombs from the first settlers of Mars. Benny says he thinks that his grandpa may be one of these. Quato's men show up, and Benny at this point reveals that he's a mutant. He takes his hand off and reveals he's got some weird sort of mutated alien hand.
Oh.
And he's like, "It's cool, man, I'm one of you." So they let him in. They go into this wee secret bunker base where the rebels are planning the next attack. Arnie goes into a wee private room to meet Quato, a mutated alien that's grown on the belly of some guy. I don't know who the guy is.
It's a belly goblin.
He's basically a big, gross belly goblin.
It's a big belly goblin.
It's so weird. So disgusting. He's this wee fetus that's grown outwards. It's so strange.
It's pure cool seeing Arnie talking to it.
Aye, it's cool. It's a cool scene. It's just so disgusting because he's slimy and kind of hairy and he's pure. He said, "Open your mind."
It's so basket case.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like a tour. It's like a first person perspective. It kind of shows you the reactor and the the button or the device or whatever to turn it on. Although we then get interrupted because this big drill bursts through the wall. It's like a big grinder drill. I don't know how you explain it. It's so
looks
cool.
amazing.
So all the bad guys run in. Everybody runs away. There's a bunch of chaos and shooting. Bad guys and the rebels are shooting at each other. Arnie and Benny and Moina take a side tunnel and try to run away. And this is where Benny turns on them. Basically, he's been working for the bad guys all along.
He's so creepy in this scene, man.
Yeah, he is, man. This is a good scene. Big Qual gets fucking shot here in the head.
It's brutal again.
It's really disgusting looking. They're brought to Cohagen, am I right in saying that? That's what happens next, aye?
Cohagen arrives and he slags this Quattle corpse. He reveals his shady plan.
Aye, he looks at the corpse and goes, no wonder he never went out in the daytime or something like that.
Cox reveals his shady plan. He's got this future chunky suit on and he double crosses him. And we get this clip of seeing that he's double crossed himself in the video.
Quaid is basically told that it's all part of the plan and that it was a double cross all along. So the bad guys are basically win. Hauser was a bad guy and it's not going to matter anymore because they're going to go and get switched back. Now that the plan's been successful, they're going to take Hauser, give him a lobotomy and switch him back to being a bad guy again so he forgets that he was ever Quaid. And he says that he's going to fix Mel, which basically means turn her back into a subservient sex slave or whatever she was before. But of course, big fucking Arnie hulks up. He bursts out the lobotomy machine. Lobotomizer? Is that what it's called? I don't know. And it just starts murdering these scientists. That's the thing, they're just pure scientists. It's not as if he's fighting bad guys. It's just like guys in lab coats here, but he's just like breaking necks and throwing them through machines and all that. It's good. Yeah, there's a cool scene as well where somebody's like, sir, these people have only got an hour of air left. And he just coldly looks at the screen and just says, fuck him. So Arnie and Mel bust out of this machine and head towards the reactor.
We get Benny riding this big grinder, this big drill.
Yeah, so they're heading through these tunnels and Benny's back. He's got this big grinder, they're sort of backed up against the wall. Arnie picks up a drill that's on the ground and sort of tries to like attack it with another drill. Do you notice this? And he sort of drills into a wee wire.
It's this big ventilation pipe. It's really cool, yeah.
It's a cool idea. You see all this, I guess it's oil or something, or this liquid coming out of it. It basically shuts down the drill. Then a really cool scene afterwards, he takes the drill and like drills it through the door and like kills Benny with it, sort of impales him with a drill. It's really cool. Yeah, and during this, basically once they find out that Arnie and Mel have escaped, Cohagen is raging. He's just like, just forget it. Let's just kill them. Let's kill them all. Should have in the first place. Then he knocks over this fish tank and it shows you all the wee goldfish like struggling for air and stuff, and it zooms in on them, and they're all going doing that thing, and then it sort of cuts to the villagers or whatever you want to call them, the townspeople that are all lying on the ground unconscious because they've not got air either. So it's a cool scene, I thought.
It's a great match cut. It's phenomenal.
Right, so they get to the reactor now. Arnie explains there's glaciers in the core of Mars, so the reactor will melt the glaciers to create oxygen, and Cohagen doesn't want that because he won't be able to control the oxygen in that case. I've wrote this actually all makes sense. Good job, movie. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Because it's actually explaining why the bad guy is bad and why this reactor will help. Basically, if the reactor gets turned on, there'll be oxygen on Mars. If there's oxygen on Mars, people can breathe. If people can breathe, then they'll no need to pay this bad guy for his air. We've got a bad guy with a good reason to be a bad guy, and we've got a good guy with a simple reason to be good. This isn't right what people are doing, and they want to just save these people. And I mean, it's really good versus evil. It's pretty straightforward, man.
They use the sort of mirror hologram projection tool in these pillars, and it's a really great little action scene. Mm-hmm. They manoeuvre around each other and throw it to each other and trick these goons and take them out until they whittle them down. It's really great.
Yeah, although these goons are pure stupid. They fall for it like 3 times in a row.
I like this elevator, this big yellow elevator.
I do like a big elevator like this in the movie, a big freight elevator. It's got like that tape on it. Yeah, it's the Alien. Yep, you're totally
Aliens. Yeah.
right. This scene with Ironside on this elevator's cool. They'll have the fight. Ironside almost falls off the elevator. He's hanging. He says, "I'm taking you with me, Quaid." Quaid pulls back, and the elevator's at the top, and it kind of slices his arms off, and he falls from the elevator. And Quaid's just holding these two arms, and he throws them down at him. And what does he yell?
See you at the bar, director.
That was good, man.
Glorious. And it's gruesome.
His death is he has his arms torn off by an elevator and then falls like 50 feet to his death.
And Arnie's holding them like King Kong.
Aye.
Just ripped your arms off.
It's fucking cool.
This mat work that we're seeing often is stunning.
Yeah, another thing, we talked about the sets and the sort of wee intimate sets and all that, but as you said, the mat work and the big, to give you the sense of scale, it really works, man. It's really, really good. Man, I love this movie a lot. Talking about it.
It's incredible.
It's so good, isn't it, man? It's so good.
We aren't making fun of anything because it's just everything's good.
Even though, like, Arnie's accent is ridiculous, his wardrobe is ridiculous. There's a lot of chunky suits. We know what you think about a chunky suit, but it's just so charming, isn't it? It's just so fucking charming.
It's a perfect mix.
So here, we like speaking of charming, we've got the sort of final blow off here with the big bad, the confrontation with Cohagen. Cohagen basically says that you can't put the reactor on because if you put the reactor on, the whole planet will blow up. Arnie says he's crazy or whatever. And what is it? It says to Arnie, "I'm going to blow this place up and be home in time for cornflakes."
How great is that?
That's a funny line.
Ronnie Cox rules as the shady businessman.
Yeah. So he goes to shoot Arnie, but then Mel shows up on the elevator, shoots him first. Just before he dies, he arms the bomb. Quaid just picks this bomb up and just tosses it down a pipe.
This vent goes.
Vent goes. Everything starts again for the third time in this movie or something. Like, there's a lot of like wind sucking. What would you call that? Holding on to stuff.
Favourite vent scene, go Tango and Cash.
Die Hard 1.
Excellent. So
See Die Hard where the bad guy is looking for him and he's poking the vent with the gun. Remember? And McQueen's trying to like cock his gun very slowly but quietly.
I am so glad you said that scene and not the one where he has to magically try and grab a hold of that vent.
That scene, I struggle with
It's
that.
difficult.
Where he's trying to jump diagonally and then catch on it with his fingers in this tiny wee vent and crawl into it.
It's difficult.
It's very difficult to suspend your disbelief for that scene.
I don't blink twice at the rope run himself when he jumps
With the
off the
fire
building.
hose, I believe that 100%. So it's that jump, that wee vent jump.
That vent jump is the most difficult.
It's so stupid. In a movie that's almost perfect.
We agree on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do that. My favourite vent scene is when he's looking for him in the vents and he's poking them all with a gun and he just about gets to him when he gets the radio call to...
You picked a great vent scene. What do you think about mine?
Sorry, what was yours again?
Tango
Tango
and
Cash.
Cash. They need to... All it is bending a
Yep.
pole and blocking a vent.
You're right.
It's great.
It's really good. Aye.
Both
It's-
good vent scenes.
Yes.
We're a fan of both.
Yes.
They grab on. Arnie messes with Cox's hand and Cox goes flying
Aye,
into
he
Mars.
fucking right down this vent, right onto the surface of Mars, and his face just explodes.
How great is that?
It's so cool, and it's so gruesome, man. Like,
Eyes come out.
it's kind of like Big Trouble in Little China,
Yeah.
but much more aggressive and violent. His face swells up. You see his eyes popping out his face. He's turning all red. He's screaming and kind of like you can hear him sort of gargling. Like
It's horrifying.
it's a horrific death. I couldn't think of a worse one. So he dies. Arnie turns on the reactor. Hundreds and hundreds of big explosions happen. Both Arnie and Mel end up getting sucked out the vent as well, and they land on the surface of Mars, and their faces start like ballooning up. It looks like their eyes are going to pop. But as they're doing this, the reactor starts working, I guess. There's a bunch of explosions, but then the smoke clears and
The air is breathable.
the air's breathable. The skyline turns from the red to blue,
Mars is
Because-
hospitable.
Because oxygen is finally entering the world, so I guess the red goes away. Everything turns blue. Arnie and Mel kind of look at each other, they wave. They're on the surface of Mars and they're breathing the air. They stand up, they walk over to a hill, they're sort of looking over the planet. It goes back down to the last resort town, and everybody wakes up. They're all looking around, everybody's looking out the window. Everybody at the shuttle is looking out the window. All the windows have exploded, but it's fine because everybody can breathe. And that's it. Everybody's looking out into the fresh air. Arnie and Mel kiss. I have a big smoochy smooch, and then credits. That's Total Recall.
Total Recall 1990. What do you think?
I was surprised. I was really surprised because I hadn't seen this movie in so long. I thought that this would be one of the ones that would not age well, and I'd feel sad after it, being like, "Oh, I used to love this. It sucks that it's so bad." But very pleasantly surprised that it still holds up like fuck. Looks amazing. It's pure cheesy, and it's pure not technically not good. Like, the acting isn't very good. Arnie's not very good in this. He can barely talk. The story's kind of all over the place at times, especially with the identity stuff. They almost get lost in it. But you know what, man? It's just fun. It's a fun movie. It's a good sci-fi romp. Arnie's the king of this, especially at this time. See, like from here on, like the 90s, put Arnie in a sci-fi movie and it just works. Special effects are amazing. Still hold up like fuck, and definitely high recommend for me. I would say 4.5 out of 5 coconuts.
Yeah, Total Recall 1990. I adore this movie. I'm a huge fan of Paul Verhoeven. I've seen everything they've done, even right up until now, still producing excellent content. I like the worlds that they paint, these gruesome, near future, wonky worlds. This is total exploitation grindhouse cinema with a brain.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean that insulting to grindhouse cinema, but the violence in these is shocking.
Yeah.
But the story is fantastic. I'm huge on Total Recall. I watch it every few years and I'm always amazed by it. I think Arnie and sci-fi just go together so well.
Yep.
I agree with you, 4.5 out of 5 coconuts.
Well, that brings us to next week.
This is gonna be the end, man. This is the last one. Let's roll the trailer!
You know, I've been coming in for 6 years. The 6 years you've been sticking it to me. I want to know how come.
You want to know?
I want to know how.
Okay, I'm going to tell you. Because you had the talent to become a good fighter. And instead of that, you became a leg breaker. Some cheap, second-rate loan shark.
To living?
It's a waste of life.
I figure if I break the guy's thumb, he gets laid off, right? He can't make
Yeah, well, don't
money,
figure it.
can't
Let me do the
nothing.
figuring, okay, Rock? From here in, just let me do the figuring.
Come on! Want to hit on me? Come on! I'll break both your arms so they don't work for you.
$50. You and your girl Adrian, you have a nice time, eh?
Thanks.
Rob,
What?
remember what I told you?
What'd you tell me?
Take her to the zoo.
Come on, come on.
Rocky, do you believe that America is the land of opportunity?
Yeah.
Paulo Creed does. And he's going to prove it to the whole world by giving an unknown a shot at the title.
I need your help about 10 years ago, right? 10 years ago. You never helped me. You didn't care.
Well, if you wanted help. I say, if you wanted help, why didn't you ask? Why didn't you just ask me, kid?
Look, I asked, but you never heard nothing. Nobody's ever gone the distance with Creed. And if I can go that distance, seeing that bell rings and I'm still standing, I weren't just another bum from the neighborhood. I mean, who am I kidding? I ain't even in the guy's league. Wish me luck. I'm gonna need it.
Good luck.
Don't leave town.
I don't believe it. The champ is down.